My name's Tracii Guns, and here I am at Tapetown Studios. And the reason I'm here is to show off the new Baum guitars that are, I guess we call them import guitars. Very high quality, cool, sexy guitars from a company right here in Aarhus. So, you know, they have a lot of pride, Danish pride, and I'm proud to be here to do this. So the first time I was introduced to Baum guitars was on Instagram. I kept seeing these posts on the main page, these really different looking, unique guitars that were very classic looking, but not exactly like anything I'd ever seen before. And coincidentally, soon after I recognized the guitars, Morton had hit me up and made a comment on something on my page. I'm like, oh wow, I was just looking at your guitars, and then when I actually moved here, the manager of my apartment building, Stan, he came running down one day and goes, oh, I'm friends with some people, and their son owns this guitar company called, Baum Guitars, and I'm like, yeah, I know Baum Guitars, I'm a veteran around here, and no, but it became a small world very quickly for me here. And so actually Stan took me to meet Morton, and we went to the house, and I got to check out all the stuff, the handmade stuff, and spent a couple hours over there. And actually I borrowed a guitar, a Leaper Tone, and like within a week I had recorded a new LA Guns song with a very specific sound. And we've just remained friends, and they have these new imports that are affordable guitars that are such high quality that I want to be involved with this company. And anybody watching this knows that I'm a Gibson guy, and so I asked Caesar Gibson. I said, hey, I want to work with this company, in Denmark where I'm living. And we got the green light to do this, so we want to thank Gibson big time for letting us do this. And we're off to the races. Okay, so the first time I picked up a Baum guitar, it had like 11 gauge strings on it. And I use most of the time 9 gauge strings tuned down to E flat, like I'm a totally wimpy guitar player. So my approach to that guitar, and I think it was a Leaper Tone, with a Bigsby on it, and I just started playing, all these really lush kind of chordal things and not too much lead, and just like found out very quickly, tonally, because the pickups are designed and everything are completely unique, how these guitars have their own voice, and it's a different voice of guitars that I'm used to playing. And it's very comfortable and very friendly. And we did some video then, and I watched that video. And these guitars take me to a different place musically, for sure. What turned me on to the guitar was actually Jimmy Page's theremin solo in Whole Lotta Love when I was 5 years old. I usually say I was 6 years old, but I wasn't. I was 5. And I was in the back of my mom's boyfriend's Porsche, typical Porsche, or I was in the well. I was a tiny little kid with stereo speakers in the back, and I heard, woo, 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 the stereo crazy thing. And I popped my head over to them, Mom, what's this sound? Just, oh, that's Led Zeppelin, that's the guitar. So I didn't know that was the theremin. I knew that she told me that was a guitar. I knew what a guitar was, and I had to make that sound. That was the whole inspiration for it. And interestingly enough, or not interesting, but interesting to me, we were leaving to move to France. My mom was, and I was going with for 6 months. And we stopped at a newsstand on the way to the airport, and there was a picture of Jimmy Page in the dragon suit on the cover of Cream magazine. And she showed me that picture, and she said, that's Jimmy Page. That's the guy that makes that sound. And I was like, he looked like a warlock. He just looked like the scariest, coolest thing I had seen at 5 years old, and that's why I'm here today. That's how I got here, and I'm going to be 55 in a few days. So that was 50 years ago. Noise is always an experiment for me. So if I had to choose, what's the most frightening or scary thing, it has to be very deep, like lots of depth, lots of layers. You're one man with an instrument, and so for me, big giant fuzz with lots of delay, can create harmonic distortion where you can't predict the outcome of the sound. And I can do a little demonstration of that here, here's a clean guitar. Then we add the fuzz. Then you add the big delay. So really, with a limited amount of effects, just in the combination, you can do so many things, just kind of dissonant, combining dissonant scales and modes with dissonant sounds. I can have an LA Guns song that's straight ahead and record one track of this kind of noise behind it that's subliminal, that's not even in front. And it really adds texture to your music, and that's what I love to do. It's my favorite thing to do, is texture. Well, to be honest, the age-old question of what makes a guitar great, what makes, it good. To me, there are very few guitars in my life that I picked up that I didn't like. And the reason is because they're kind of like people. Guitars are like people, and even a guitar that's not very well made or put together can have a lot of character. It can have, maybe I can't shred super fast on that guitar, or the pickups are real skinny sounding or something like that. But I can definitely do something with it. You know what I mean? But when it comes to high quality guitars, things that I know that I'm going to play live, that are going to be durable and consistent, number one, it has to be friendly. And when it's friendly, that means that the neck was sanded just right. It has the right kind of finish. The frets don't poke you in your fingers. The pickups are full bodied, even if they're single coil pickups. They have to have a certain warmth. And then electronics, having a really nice switch, because as we know, I play Les Paul, so that switch is very important. And the smoothness of the volume knob, really, because I use that so much to go from, intense gain to clean and things like that. I use my hands. So the guitar has to feel solid. It has to have nice action, easy to play, slippery up and down, and tonally, it just can't be thin. Generally I go for low output pickups because I like to drive distortion pedals through cleaner amps, and that way I have more of a variety of sounds. So I'm not relying on the pickup so much for the main sound of, let's say in LA Guns, it's metal. So low output pickup, high gain distortion pedal, low gain amp, and then it stays tight. and you get really good feedback that way. And so that was the question with Baum guitars, was like, those are beautiful guitars. They're so sexy, you know. Are they good? And of course, the first ones I played were the ones that Morton built and put together, and they're expensive guitars. And I was like, oh my God, you know, these are so good. And then we had a lot of discussions about, you know, building an import and making sure that the quality was, you know, on par with the handmade things. And they are, you know, I mean, the necks are the same. The pickups are the same. And then, you know, we have this levitator bridge with the roller saddles on it and all those things. So this is a high quality guitar. You know, this is a great guitar.